Here's the truth. Raleigh's housing market is not the same as last year. Inventory is climbing. Homes are sitting longer. Buyers finally have leverage, but prices still strong. In this August 2025 update, I'll break down what's really happening with Raleigh, North Carolina real estate. Prices, inventory, days on market, mortgage rates, and the neighborhoods where things are shifting fastest. If you're buying or selling in 2025, this is the video you can't afford to skip. Let's zoom out and look at the big picture. Raleigh, North Carolina is still one of the fastest growing housing markets in the US. Every single day, more than 70 people move into the triangle. That's new buyers, new renters, and constant pressure on housing demand. Now let's break down the August 2025 numbers. Median home price about $495,000. That's up year over year, but the growth is slower than before. Prices are stabilizing, not spiking. Inventory, up 34% year over year. That puts Raleigh at the top nationally for new housing supply. Translation, more homes, more choices, fewer bidding wars. Days on market averaging 40 days. Last year it was under 3 weeks. Buyers finally have breathing room. They can actually tour homes and negotiate. Sale to list ratio. Homes are closing at 98.5% of asking price. Back in 2022-2023, buyers were paying above list. Today, you can negotiate. So what does this mean? Raleigh has shifted. We've gone from a hyper seller's market to something closer to balance. Buyers finally have leverage. Sellers still have equity, but they can't just throw a number out and expect 10 offers in a weekend. Now let's zero in on prices. The median home price in Raleigh and Wake County is $495,000. That's higher than last year, but the growth curve is flattening. We're no longer seeing 10% jumps every quarter. This is more like 2 to 3% annual growth. Here's the psychology. Sellers still have a ton of equity. They don't need to slash prices, which is why you're not seeing fire sales. But buyers? They're no longer throwing 20 grand over asking just to win. That shows in the numbers. Homes are closing at 98.5% of list price. Sellers are holding firm, but buyers are getting closing costs covered, rate buy-downs, and even upgrades in new construction. So what's the takeaway? Prices aren't crashing, they're stabilizing. Sellers, if you overprice, your home will sit. Buyers, if you negotiate, you'll get deals you couldn't touch 2 years ago. This is what a balanced market looks like. Steady values, real negotiation, and opportunities on both sides. Inventory is the headline story in Raleigh's housing market right now. We're up nearly 34% year over year. That makes Raleigh one of the top markets in the US for new housing supply growth. What does that actually mean? For buyers, it's leverage. More homes to pick from. Less pressure to waive inspections or throw cash way over asking. You've got time and choices now. For sellers, it's competition. Your home isn't the only option on the block anymore. If you don't price it right, stage it, and market it aggressively, buyers will simply move on to the next listing down the street. And here's the key. A big chunk of this inventory isn't just resales, it's new construction. Builders in Wake Forest, Fuquay, Varina, Knightdale, and Clayton are dropping incentives, rate buy-downs, closing costs, even upgrades to get buyers in the door. So the takeaway? Buyers finally have negotiating power. Sellers need strategy. This is no longer the 2022 market where everything's sold in 24 hours. Quick pause. Raleigh's housing market is changing fast. Prices are steady, but inventory is up 34% and buyers finally have leverage. Text Raleigh Real Estate Market to 919-607-4844 and I'll send you my free Raleigh Market Report with neighborhood-level insights, pricing strategies, and builder incentives you won't find online. All right, let's get back to the numbers. Let's talk about one of the most important stats in real estate. Days on market. Right now, in August 2025, the average days on market in Raleigh is 40. Last year, it was under 20. That's a major shift. Here's what it means. For buyers, you're no longer in panic mode. In 2022, homes were selling in 24 hours, and you had to make split-second decisions, waive inspections, and throw 20 grand over list just to win. Today, you can actually tour 3 to 4 homes, think about it, and negotiate without losing your shot. That's real leverage. For sellers, this is your wake-up call. Overpricing will backfire. If you skip staging, professional photos, or marketing, buyers will scroll right past your listing. And with inventory up 34% year over year, you've got competition. You can't just toss a sign in the yard and expect 10 offers in a weekend. For the market overall, this is balance. Buyers finally have time. Sellers still have equity. But Raleigh real estate in 2025 is no longer a sprint. It's a strategy game. So the message is simple. Buyers, use the time to negotiate smart. Sellers, work with an agent who can position your home the right way. Because in this market, strategy is everything. Let's talk about mortgage rates because they control everything in real estate. Right now in Raleigh, North Carolina, the average mortgage rate is about 6.3%. That's down slightly from earlier this summer, but it still shifts week to week. Here's the big takeaway. That small dip has been enough to keep buyers in the game. When rates eased even just a little, affordability improved, and buyers started making moves again. But here's what's changed in 2025. Buyers are stretching their dollars differently. Instead of competing for homes in high-demand areas like Cary or Apex, they're driving a little farther to get more value. Wake Forest, bigger homes, larger lots, and newer construction at lower price per square foot. 𝐈'𝐥𝐥, rapid growth, but still affordable compared to western Wake suburbs. Knightdale, strong new builds and quick access to Raleigh at prices that make sense. Rates at 6.3% don't sound cheap compared to the 3% era, but here's the reality. Buyers are adjusting. They're picking towns where $495,000 gets them a 4-bedroom house instead of a small townhome in Cary. So the strategy is clear. If you're buying, look at suburbs like Wake Forest, 𝐈'𝐥𝐥, and Knightdale to balance rates with affordability. If you're selling, understand that buyers are factoring mortgage costs into every decision. They'll pay your price if your home delivers real value. Not every Raleigh suburb is reacting the same way to this market shift. Wake Forest is leading with strong new construction. Bigger homes, bigger yards, and more square footage for the dollar. Great value for buyers who want space. 𝐈'𝐥𝐥 is booming. It's still affordable compared to Cary or Apex, and builders are stacking in incentives to keep demand moving. South Cary is a different story. Luxury homes here are holding value because schools, RTP access, and established neighborhoods keep demand high. Zebulon and Clayton are the affordability play. Both offer bigger lots, lower price per square foot, and easy commutes if you don't mind driving a little farther. So here's the takeaway. If you're relocating to Raleigh in 2025, don't just look inside city limits. Wake Forest, 𝐈'𝐥𝐥, South Cary, Zebulon, and Clayton are the suburbs where buyers are finding real opportunities right now. Here's the truth about the Raleigh housing market in August 2025. If you're buying, now is the window. Rates are holding around 6.3%, inventory is up 34%, and homes are sitting an average of 40 days. That means you have leverage, choices, and time to negotiate. If you're selling, you can still win big, but you can't wing it. The median price is $495,000, and buyers are negotiating harder. Smart pricing, professional staging, and aggressive marketing will get you top dollar. Want the full breakdown? Text Raleigh August Market to 919-607-4844, and I'll send you my Raleigh Market Report August 2025 with neighborhood-level insights, pricing strategies, and opportunities most people don't even know exist. Drop a comment. What's your thoughts on the Raleigh real estate market in 2025 and why? I read and reply to every comment. And if you found this useful, hit like, subscribe, and tap the bell so YouTube shows this update to more Raleigh buyers and sellers. I'll see you in the next video. New construction versus resale in Raleigh. Which is cheaper in 2025? I'm Phil Slezak, AI certified agent, brokered by LPT Realty. Whether you're in Cary, Apex, Holly Springs, Wake Forest, or right here in Raleigh, let's make your move the right move.